Page 18, we start with eighth notes and playing eighth notes. If you remember, at the beginning of the book, we had at the bottom of the page, we talked about whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, and eighth notes. This is really the first time that we'll be playing eighth notes. Eighth notes are worth a half a beat. So there are 2 eighth notes per beat. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, eighth notes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. As I demonstrated how to count the eighth notes, that's exactly how our right hand and our pick will be moving, down and up, what we call alternate picking. If you look at the page 18 at the top, it shows the symbols for pick going downward. It's like going like this, and the V coming up, pick going upward. And I would call that alternate picking. And I would play eighth notes right now, practice all our eighth notes with alternate picking. You can practice starting playing eighth notes without even looking at the book by taking the scale that you know, the C scale. Let's play it from C to C. Remember the name of that exercise, C to C? And we're going to play 4 eighth notes for each note. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Your pick still rests on the string right above it. Notice how the pick rests. Okay. Another way to start practicing eighth notes is not only to repeat the note, but start switching the notes every eighth note, like this. This is a very difficult step if you haven't played alternate picking before. It's fairly easy because you always know where your right hand is and repeating the note for eighth notes, but to switch each note is a big jump from that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So start working on that, and especially we'll start one way is to play these exercises slowly, legato, in tempo, and being very, very diligent and trying to do this alternate picking. Exercise 1, page 18. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Sometimes when students are practicing eighth notes, they don't have problems with the eighth notes, they have problems with the quarter notes and keeping that as one full beat. So let's say we're on the second line, second measure of this exercise 1, it goes. Please give your quarter notes a full beat. And then eighth notes. I'll finish it. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exercise 2 is a bit harder. We're switching eighth notes on the end of 2 and the end of 4, which means you have to switch the note with an upstroke. It's easy when it's on the same string, but it's harder when it's on the next string. As in the first measure, we have C, D should be an upstroke. Not that, how should I say, emphasize. So the hardest part that you will have is switching strings when you have to play an upstroke. Exercise 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. If you notice, in the last note of this exercise, there's a sign over the note, and that's called a fermata. That means to hold. Actually, hold beyond its normal duration. So that is a quarter note. You can hold it for a half note. You can hold it for 3 beats. But its main thing is to hold it longer than what it would usually get. So. Exercise 3 on page 19 is a long exercise using all eighth notes. So I would suggest practicing this first in short 4 to 8 measure phrases. I would first practice the first 2 lines, which state the scale and how we're going to do this exercise. Each line after that starts on a different scale note using that same type of pattern. The third line starts with C. The fourth line starts on D. The next line starts on E. The next one, F, G, and then the next line starts on A. And then the last 2 lines go. It stays. So to summarize, the first 2 lines and the second 2 lines can stand on their own. I would practice those. Then after doing the first 2 lines, I would practice the third line by itself. I'm going through it quickly, so it's not taking as much time. Then after I would get that together, I would practice the next line. And so on. The main thing is to build up strength in the left hand, build coordination between both hands, and getting used to playing alternate picking. So let's play this fairly slowly. I will play this all the way through. Exercise 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. notice of the fermata at the end of the piece on the note C.